Kevin Spacey, hello.
Hello.
So what is this all about? What are you doing here? Singing?
Well, it's the second year that we've done a benefit for the foundation. Last year we had a dinner and a kind of sit-down auction, and the kind of more typical evening where you're trying to raise money and raise funds. And this year I just thought I wanted to do something a little different, just a straight-out performance, no sit-down, no auction. I'm not even sure we're black tie. I don't think we're black tie this year. And I really just wanted to sort of, in a sense, sing for my supper.
Sing for your supper.
Yeah, this is, the work that we're doing at the foundation is so important to me. Not just the work we've done in London, where, in a sense, a lot of this stuff began in my work at the Old Vic, but the work that we're now doing globally, the work that we're doing in the United States, the scholarships that we give, the kind of awards that we're giving out and grants and stuff, are just so important to me. And to be able to come to our nation's capital, where I happen to be working a state away in Maryland, shooting House of Cards. And last year we had such a tremendous turnout. So many people in Washington politics came out that I thought, well, let's do it again this year.
It's funny you come to Washington not as Frank Underwood, the power-hungry politician in this town that we all have come to know, but to sing.
Yeah.
Which sort of means you'll do anything for this foundation work, right?
Well, look, I love singing. I mean, people who may have known that I've sung before. I did a film about the great American entertainer Bobby Darin and sang all those tracks. I did a tour around the nation when that film came out. I have occasionally at various functions and events gotten up and sung. I love doing it. It's something I wish I had more time to do, but I think now that the next couple of years I'm going to start doing a little bit more of it.
When you do the workshops with young people through this work in this country and abroad, what are you looking for? I mean, what are you trying to convey to them through the work you're doing?
Well, there's a number of things. It depends on whether I'm working with emerging artists, meaning young people who've decided they actually want to go into a career in the arts. That's one set. There's a whole other set of people that I work with, which are just kids. And I think the power of theater, the power of acting, the power of the tools of the living theater, in terms of being able to help a young person stand up in front of a group of people, find a kind of self-confidence that maybe they never thought they could have, ability to collaborate with others, ability to communicate with others.
You see that happen?
Oh, I see it happen. And it's always interesting when I'm in a workshop, and I'm always looking for the shy kid in the corner, because that was me when I grew up and I started doing these kinds of workshops.
Yeah. So you look around the room.
I'm always looking around
where's
the room
me of this
where's
group?
the me of this room, and that doesn't necessarily mean the show off, because I'm also has that quality as well. But sometimes it's that person in the corner who you can tell by their way that they're participating or not participating, wanting to participate but they don't know how, quite nervous. I love to be able to, at a certain point, bring the focus onto them and watch in the course. Most of these workshops are about 3.5 hours long, and watch in the course of that 3.5 hours how that person in the corner, who was either very afraid and in some cases terrified to become involved or to stand up or to actually have to speak in front of other people, go in that 3 hours to a person who has a realization about something about themselves they didn't think possible. And I know, because that was me, I was that kid, that will be a moment they'll always remember.
Explain that. I mean, the power of influence in your own life. And you've talked about meeting Jack Lemmon at age 13, right?
Yeah.
Changed your life somehow.
Yeah.
How exactly? I mean, what was the direct influence or impact?
Well, because for me at the time, I was a kid who I didn't focus very well. I wasn't really all that academic. I didn't really care that much about classes. I was a bit disruptive. I was the class clown. I was making all the jokes in the back of the room. And a guidance counselor who was quite perceptive felt that I had an excessive amount of energy and guided me towards some elective courses, and drama was one of them.
He was probably right, right?
She was probably right, yes. And so I took drama, and then a very perceptive drama teacher saw that I had, clearly saw that I had some potential, and then led me toward this workshop where ultimately we had to get up and do scenes from a play in front of Jack Lemmon, who was running this workshop. And at the end of that, he walked up to me, and this was a man who was like my idol. I mean, I grew up loving movies and maybe secretly wanted to be an actor somewhere in the back of my head, but was very shy. And to have Jack Lemmon walk up to you when you're 13 years old and put his hand on your shoulder and say, "You are a born actor. You are meant to do this. You should go to New York and study.
Yeah.
You are meant to do this," was such an extraordinary, boost of confidence that it did change my life.
Yeah.
And I did follow his advice and go to New York. And then, the incredible thing about life and its unexpected journeys is that I ended up then working with Jack professionally on a number of occasions. We did 3 films together and did a play together for a long time. But more than that, he became the most important mentor in my life.
The work that you're doing now that has become so important to you, working with young people, did you always understand that? Because there must have been a long period where you must have needed so much ambition, drive to succeed in what is a tough business, right?
Yeah, but I think also meeting someone like Lemmon, who was one of those rare beings, here was a man who became a star very young in life, and he stayed a star his entire life, and he never let Hollywood glory go to his head. He was the kindest, funnest, gentlest, warmest man you could ever come across. And he had this belief, this philosophy that I've now adopted as my own and is really the slogan for the foundation, which is that, if you've been successful in the business you wanted to be successful in, it's your obligation to spend a good portion of your time sending the elevator back down. And I always thought that was such a clear and distinct way of saying it. And so the logo for my foundation is the universal button we all push to send the elevator up.